Hey, hey,
Woo! Hello.
hey, sister.
Hello, sisters.
How you doing, sisters?
Hello,
For
my glamorous girls. How are we?
absolutely okay.
Wonderful. Saturday, we got some sun.
We have some
Oh God,
lovely
yes, we
time.
had sun this morning.
I
Thank
love
God.
it. I love it. I love
Thank
it.
God. I gotta hurry up and run out and catch.
Hello to all of those on the East Coast and the West Coast and every coast across the land. Come on in and join us today. I'm Wyoming.
I'm Peg.
I'm Linda.
I'm Charlene.
And we are
For
Sisters
Sisters Live.
Yes, we are. And so happy to be back in the house again to see y'all lovely faces. Another week of look, another month. Another week, another month.
Brand new.
Brand new.
What happened to January?
I don't know.
Gone. It is gone.
It's just amazing how time is flying. Charlene, it's flying so fast. It's like I said, it's just making your head spin. This is the way we know we don't have time to waste.
No time.
A confirmation, right?
It's confirmation that you do not have any time to waste anymore because time is really moving fast. So I'm not going to complain. I love it. I think it's just awesome that we're here. It's a blessing.
Yes.
That we are here to see it. And that's just the way it is. I mean, it's February. This is Black History Month. There's so much going on. And this short month. It's a short month, but a lot's going on within this.
Wait a minute. Do we have 29 days in this February?
We have 20. It's a leap year.
29.
So we have an extra day.
We have an extra day. Hello. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Okay. I mean, what can we say?
Yes.
It's
that's
just
a blessing.
Day in the month. But it's a lot going on in this month. I mean, we're looking at Black History Month. We got Valentine's Day. We got Heart Health Month. You know, we got other things that's happening in this month. And so it's just a lot to celebrate. Birthdays are in this month, of course.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I mean, it's a lot happening, but a lot has gone on. And since we last, seen each other, things have happened. And we just know that we have to thank God for each day. That's all I'm going to say to that. It's a lot happening. It's all over. Things are moving. Charlene, things are happening. We're right in the midst of all these different transitions of things that's going on. So we just have to kind of look at where we are and keep things moving. They say keep it moving. We just have to keep it moving, Peggy, because if we stand still and really think about this, let me tell y'all something. The mental is real.
It is.
Who are you talking to? Because this morning, I just took a second shower. I'm like, it's cold outside. Normally, you don't take 2 and 3 showers unless it's summer. But I'm like, let me shake this off. I go out and I do some jobs or whatever. And I'm like, and then the people are weird and their people are strange. And I'm like, wait a minute. I need to either go back to bed. No, I'm not going back to bed. I'm going to take a shower. So I went and took a hot shower. Yeah, and I got y'all thinking yeah, you get the link, Charlotte? I'm like, no, not yet. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to jump in the shower and everything's going to be just fine. And likewise, I'm like, and I'm going to get dressed up and I'll put on my pearls. I'm going to put back on some earrings, I'll put on a little bit of makeup and it's going to be fine. And we're going to start this day right on over because things are happening. And if you don't take care of your mental, like just pausing for just that second, help me to regain my mental. Whoa, I know what I mean, but just in case it is, okay.
Looks like you went through a groundhog moment. Do you remember that movie Groundhog Day?
Yeah,
right, exactly.
Yes.
You went through a Groundhog Day.
Well, speaking of groundhog, I think we're going to have an early spring because I think he saw his shadow yesterday.
He see a shadow?
Yeah.
That's what I heard. Yes.
That's what they said. So
That's
we're going
what
to have an early spring.
That's what they say.
That's what we say.
Whatever they say.
He had an early winter, so maybe it's almost over.
Let me just say this. Whatever's going on, if we do not understand how to be in a position to receive God's grace, his mercy, things that he's allowing us to do, the way we need to do it, and we have to just take time within ourselves. We talked about this last week. Take some time for yourself and think about what that you need to do to put yourself in alignment.
Yes.
If we just allow things to just go and do. we will take ourselves, Charlene, in that mental space, and that's not sometimes a good space to be in. So
Shower it off, reset.
that was a good thing. That's good. You showered it off.
Right,
Mhm.
reset.
Mhm.
I mean, know when to reset. I don't care. Even if I wasn't, I was like, at work or downtown DC, or wherever I would be. You better shower yourself with something, because if you don't, you will.
I like that. That's a good word. Shower yourself. That's good, Charlene.
Shower yourself with some love.
Yeah,
love.
shower yourself with some love.
Put some of that God juice. God juice on you.
Because we can't take things personal, because people are going through things and we don't understand what it is. And if we're fighters, you're like, who you talking to? We're like, we can go back with you, right? But that's not what we're supposed to do in this season. What we're supposed to do is like go on, like, let me just reset, because I don't know what's going on with them, but I know it's not me. And because I know it's not me, let's just reset.
But see, if we don't be careful, we could take other people's situations personally.
That part, you get it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So true. And you don't need to. You just need to say, just stop and listen to what is going on with them, and just pause and don't respond all the time, because sometimes they want you to respond, because that agitated spirit might be, wanting to not just attack you or whatever they have going on. So it's like, I'm learning that from last year during COVID.
Yeah. Especially since then. I mean, we're going to get into that. It's like so much has really, in its own way, which I'm starting to see since COVID, things that have happened and happening. It's like, did this cause this in its own spiritual and its own atmosphere kind of way? I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, no, it's real. No, it did happen. And I think the powers to be knew that something like this would happen. And think about, we having a new change over from the technology to another real world of AI and a couple other things, technological changes. Robots are operating on our family members now. And so the human aspect is meant to be taken away from us. And I think
more and more.
I think they planned for this and got us in our head. And we're like, if you guys don't have God, I don't know what your spirituality is, but you better be calling on God, okay, if that's your higher power. Because I'm telling you, a lot more things.
Whoever you're serving in the higher power, because you have to really kind of draw from that.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to draw from that. But look, I know we got a lot happening today. It's our Domestic Violence Day, and I know we don't like to speak on this. You already know what time it is. Our first of the month on Saturdays. It come around so fast. I'm thinking about like, wow, we're back here again. We're back here again, right? Talking about this matter, talking about this subject that is still happening. Is real. It's just a reality that we have to talk about it. Yeah, that's Linda. It's just real.
Every single day.
We're being abused every day. We talk about this mental, because that's one of the areas we talk about mental abuse. That's a part of the science is in the domestic area of the power and control. We talk about that power and control. Who has your power and who's controlling you?
That's so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So real.
That's real. That's real. So we're going to talk about that as we dive into our domestic violence segment today. But before then, I just want to say, what's going on in your world, girls? Go around, Lynn. What's I know what's going. You looking pretty. You looking Afrocentric. What's going on?
Right on, my sister.
What's going on, Queen?
Right on, my sister. Just relaxing, just kind of get my mind together, because you're right, it's a mental thing. Just getting my mind together, just kind of taking in, reorganizing, doing a lot of things around the house, getting out. I've been running down the sunshine. Of course, there wasn't too much sunshine this week, but today I got to hurry up and get on out. So yes,
get out and get that D.
Get some good reading and good reading, good movies. Oh yeah, some really good, some good movies. I just happen to be watching too. Good Black history stuff going on right now.
That's good.
That's what I've been focusing on, looking at our Black history, renewing the mind.
Yeah, that's so good.
What's going on in your world, girl? Peg.
Let me see. Sitting still for a moment.
Get
ready. Look, listen. Getting ready for the spring, because we're busting out.
Okay.
I don't know what that is, but it's coming.
Look, it's coming, whether we're ready for it or not, right? But that's good. I mean, I think you're like just resetting yourself into where you are and need to be and where you're going because you got so
Mhm.
much happening. You
Yeah,
know,
we got to plan it out
you
for
got
it
to
to
plan
be
it out.
right.
Yeah, I
Yes.
hear you. I understand. What's going on in your world, girl? Charlene, girl, we missed you.
I'm good. We just had to bury my father's aunt. You know, my father preceded his brothers and sisters, so it took almost a month to bury her, and it wasn't because she didn't have insurance. It's just one of those things, guys. So we'll have to have that conversation again, because some people think that, oh, they didn't bury them because they didn't have the insurance money. Not true. Not true. I have to give you guys give you more information on that. But that's very hard on the family, depending on what funeral homes you're dealing with and family dynamics and kids who think they want to run the world with their parents because they don't want to let them go. Okay, I said enough. But anyway,
No, it's a real deal. So
it's
that's
a real.
It's a lot to deal with.
It's a lot to deal with, and when you're on the other side, you can never run another family member because that's their precious loved one. Even though you love them, when it comes to children, it means a lot. So we lost one, and then we were and you got two more sick. That really weighs on the family. It weighs on my heart because I am close to my father, and he sent his message to get to my family, Charlene. And so I'm like, okay, Dad. The good thing is, well, that's a good thing that she went on to glory. But a better thing is that I feel really blessed, and I feel like I should share that January, February, this year has been a really good year for me. So women who are in business, please stop making it a hobby and make some money. I repeat,
say it again.
Stop making it a hobby and make some money.
I like that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Can I say that? And I have receipts. So this year, I think I will show more receipts because everybody's like, what you do, Charlene? And I think it's time for me to really do that because I feel bad when people are just talking and then they're not really showing. But it's some simple things that we can do out here to make money. And the other thing is about family. And we have been really implementing some family techniques within our own house first. Okay. You know, you got to do it at home first. Okay. The dinner table. Oh, Lord, those conversations. Okay. But anyway, so that's what I've been doing. God has been blessing in the business, but it's hard work. It is hard work, but I get to see profit.
But I think that where we are, Charlene, and you're talking about family, which is a wonderful thing. But even with that, take care of yourself.
Oh yeah.
It's as you see when you look at it, we have to take care of ourselves because if we don't take care of ourselves, you can't take care of your family.
That's true.
You won't be able to be there for your family.
Right.
Well, yeah, that's so true, Wyoming. And I think it's very important to have that conversation at the kitchen table with them because some are selfish. Let's just put it that way. There are selfish family members who don't understand that the more you wear down that person, you can lose that person, right? And then what do? So it's a serious conversation within family. So whether you're going through domestic violence, whether you're going through your own financial hardship and you have to move back home or you need extra help, be kind to each other because all we have is each other.
Got that right.
Patience
Say it again, Charlene.
with one another. All we got is each other. Like, I'm not going to like everything you do, but family is really all we do have. And like, you are my family. Like, you're my close sisters, and I consider you family. Blood is just not family. It's those you have around. Be careful how you treat people, and also know that we will need each other one day. So roll your eyes and say, I'll get you later, right? And then you have that conversation and you show more love. I mean,
full circle.
Yeah, full circle.
Oh, come on, guys. Anyway, back to you, Wyoming.
No, it's not. No, you're preaching. I see. Alicia said something to Charlene preach the truth. Let it be the truth that out for our business now. It's time for us to be about the business. Time to stop playing business and be about your business. And and your business, because when you start trying to take care of other people's business, you don't have time for your own. You're trying to figure out how you're going to take care of your business first. Right. And stop trying to run around and take care of other people's stuff. Because you look up and like, well, damn, I'm helping everybody else.
Where my money? Where my money? Who paying my bills?
That's those days are over. Put a cap on some of these things, people.
Yeah. Yes.
And that. But speaking of people, definitely. This is, like I say, Black History Month. So much is going on in this pack-filled February. And we have Valentine's Day. We have Heart Health Month. And guess what? We got the Super Bowl 58.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
I'm so happy. I'm excited. Why? I don't know. I'm not going.
Because Bill is cooking his famous wings, and we're headed over to his house. Bobby, Peggy.
What you say?
We said Mr. Pop Bill is going to be cooking us some chicken wings, and we head to his house.
Oh yeah, chicken wings.
Woo, girl.
Okay.
Look.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay.
Anytime. Check that out.
Do
Okay.
that. But in the meantime, in between time, let's talk about, and I said heart health, this is our heart health month. So we're red and all of this. We got things happening even for this month as it relates to that. But we have a great guest today, everyone out there. So please tag, love, put some hearts out there, like, share, hit it so we can get our numbers up, ladies and gentlemen, because we have an awesome guest today. She hadn't been with us for a while. She is our sister, and we're going to bring her on shortly. This is none other than Lynn Strange. But before we get to her, we got some birthdays and things coming up as well. But let's honor Black history. Dante, are you ready? I want us to honor something, two people in particular this Black History Month. And these two men, they were Black history that have lost us. We lost them this week, yesterday, as a matter of fact. And we're talking about none other than the legend and the icon and the Hall of Fame of radio host legend, Joe Madison.
Joe Madison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I love Joe Madison.
Yes.
He cut no corners. He spoke truth to power.
He did.
Yes.
He definitely spoke truth to power. He poured into me personally a lot of times because I was at Radio 1, worked at WL Studio as a contractor and had clients. And every time I go in the studio, him and Uncle Bernie, if y'all remember Uncle Bernie and WL, those were the legends, icons, the men who had the wisdom. Mm-hmm. And it pulled on them a lot. And I love Joe, wonderful man. He also battled with prostate cancer.
Oh, no.
Prostate cancer. So that's another conversation we have to have about our men at some point. But rest in peace, prayers to you and your family, all of the Madison family. We also lost another wonderful man. I just thought he was the finest man in Hollywood, Carl Weathers.
Oh yeah,
oh my God, I thought he was the
he passed away in his sleep. Oh my God.
Yes, he did. And I saw him on the Super Bowl commercial just yesterday, or so this past week, and I was like, oh, they got Carl Weathers.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's amazing, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, rest in peace to rest in peace and love and family, and sending that out to Carl Weathers' family as well. I mean, he spent his time well in Hollywood and played in many, many movies.
Yes.
The Apollo Creed, Yep.
Wow.
There you have it. So let's get straight to the birthdays. We got some, speaking of Black history, we got some awesome sisters and brothers and selling birthdays. Who we got, Peggy?
Yeah, we got some birthdays. Our first one, where's our candles? We don't have any candles.
What happened?
Where the toot toot?
No, we got
there you go.
We're ready. Here come birthdays.
Yeah, Ruthie Lucas.
All right.
Happy birthday, Ruthie.
Hey, Ruthie.
Here's another sister, Lauren Lassiter. Happy birthday, Lauren.
Happy birthday,
Lauren.
And we have the beautiful, gorgeous Linda Marshall.
My Linda #1. Yes. The other Linda. Beautiful.
Yes.
And Dr. Amina Butts is celebrating.
Yes. All right. Woo.
And I must shout out my sister Marty. Marty is celebrating her birthday tomorrow. Hello,
okay.
Marty.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
ladies. Happy birthday.
Yes.
Yes.
Happy birthday to
Celebrate.
Happy birthday to ya. Happy birthday. Yay. Well, speaking of birthdays again, we have some Black history birthdays. Who we have, Len?
Oh. Here they are. Okay, our first birthday, Rosa Parks. Yes, Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott. We can never forget that. Born on the 4th of February, 1913. We have Hank Aaron, Major League Baseball home run king, was born on the 5th, 1934. We have our very own Bob Marley, reggae musician. That was in
Right.
1945 on February 6th. We have, and most importantly, this is not a birthday, but this is a history moment. Carter G. Woodson founded Black History Week, which turned into a month,
Yes.
which would later become Black History Month in 1976.
Well, they didn't want to give us one, so we took it. Right?
We took it all the way.
We got a
Beautiful.
month.
So that, yes, if it was not for him, we would not have this moment.
Absolutely to him on that. So
Yes.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn, for that. So we have some hot picks. So what's happening? We got to get that in. Some things happening in the community, Peg. What's happening?
Yeah. There's one coming up, Florence Champagne with the Open My Heart Foundation. Dante, is he bringing it up?
Yes. The heart health symposium.
There we go. Yeah, it's the second annual health equity symposium scheduled for February the 9th. It's from 3 to 5 p.m. And we're asking folks to come out. I attended last year and it was awesome. So I can imagine what it's going to be like
Did I
this
see
year.
something about it sold out? I think it's sold out or something I saw on this.
Yeah, it's going to
Anyway.
be. Go ahead. Why? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
No, I didn't want to cut you off. I was just at a moment. I think I saw something she posted about it being sold out. I'm not sure.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, it was fantastic last year, so I can imagine what this year is going to be like.
Yes. She always gives some wonderful things. Yes, save the date. What's happening?
And this is save the date for March the 30th. Thanks to Dr. Tashika Green. And she's in this particular event, she's hosting in honor of her mother. Amazing woman. So we're blessed to have 4 sisters out of Sisters for Sisters Network that we're going to honor. So, we're out to celebrate. I say we're busting loose, guys, busting loose.
We truly are busting loose. Ooh.
Chocolate City Records. You already know we're in the thick of it. Rehearsals. I'm gonna tell y'all something. I said I'm on skates. I got up this morning about 7:30, 8 o'clock. We have rehearsal at 8:30. I ran back here and here I am. Voila. Just that much. Just so that you know we're in the thick of it.
Wow.
Early morning Saturday rehearsals. Woo, who thought of that? Whoa.
Who thought of that? Aren't you responsible for that?
Girl, I don't even want to get into it. I just want to say, get your tickets. It's gonna be nice. It was really, the energy was wonderful. This cast is going to be great. You are going to have a great time watching this. It's going to be hilarious, at the same time historical, and telling some about history as it relates to the music industry.
Okay.
So
cool.
Chocolate City Records, get your tickets at www.thelinkedc.com. Okay.
There you go. And this one here, what can we say about this? This is the 23rd annual Power Networking Conference. July 10th through the 13th. It's going to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. So we will be in the room, my sisters.
Amen.
Got to show up to represent.
Nice flyer.
Isn't it nice?
Yes, ma'am.
Flyer.
Yeah, I can't wait to go home. Charlotte, North Carolina.
Charlotte, yeah, we may take the drive or something.
Oh.
Yeah, we
got a party bus, guys. Come on. We got
a party bus.
A party bus.
Oh, girl. So anyways, we're going to switch gears here and get into the conversation, have the conversation, like I said, that we must talk about, need to talk about, and we understand that it is something that's still happening in our community, in our world. So I want to bring our sister in so we can introduce her and get going with this, because she has been a part of this. This is part of what she's been doing as well. She's on the front line. She's an advocate for it. She works in this field. She has 30 years of working diligently as working as a domestic violence advocate. And she goes and she speaks, goes out and talk about it to so many people. And we love her and we want her to come and introduce herself again. But we have none other than our sister, Lynn Strange. Come on in, Lynn. Come on in, girl.
Good morning.
Good morning.
See, each of you beautiful, beautiful, beautiful women. I Honored to be here. I have been enjoying myself backstage. I mean, the conversation is rich, powerful, empowering. I'm telling you, the sun is shining, so I'm so glad to be here this morning.
But
Yes,
you
yes.
have been a part of us for a long time, and you've been in the field and in the trenches, as they say, and doing your thing. And you recognize that this is a need that you have been given. You've experienced a lot of this yourself personally.
Yes.
You're not just walking and talking it. You've been about this and experienced it. And then it blew my mind when I heard your story some time ago, and I was like, wow, this is really real. And we talk about all the time, we don't look like what we've gone through.
That's right.
And you've carried yourself, and so beautiful. Your spirit, your outer beauty, as well as your inner beauty, has attracted so many people. So can you introduce yourself, because I couldn't do it justice? But just tell people about yourself as we move into this conversation on domestic violence.
Thank you so much to each of you. Thank you, Sister Wyoming. To God be the glory. The outer, the inner is all ascribed to him alone. He alone deserves all the praise. I'm just blessed to be alive. I am a survivor and overcomer by God alone from the vicious, horrific cycle of domestic violence. Not only did he deliver me from that cycle, but he has given me a divine opportunity to go out and transform and impact lives about this demonic, I call it demonic spirit of domestic violence, but empowering the earth realm about the red flags, the signs, the cycle continuously that many find ourselves in. Silently, we don't know that they're in it. Sometimes we lose lives in the cycle, but he has given me this mantle, I believe, this assignment to go and to bring unique services of intervention and empowerment to victims of domestic violence in the earth realm, not just in the church, but locally, from employers within employers, corporations, to individuals separately, governmental agencies and entities, just really impacting and infusing the earth realm about this cycle of domestic violence, waking us up, keeping us alive to understanding that there are people right among us every day in our employers, in our churches, in our families that are suffering the significant detriment of this cycle of domestic violence. So really snatching those lives out before it's too late.
Yes.
Before they're killed in the cycle, as many have. So I have launched a business, Inside Levels, which does provide a safe, systematic, confidential approach to domestic violence, to companies, to individuals, while securing their brand, their influence, and their integrity with different types of strategies and trainings and workshops. So I'm really grateful for this opportunity to be alive and do the work that God has called me to do.
Yeah, definitely. I think when you talk about it, when you're out, you can relate, and other people can see you tell the story, but they can see your story.
Amen.
If that makes sense, because of the dramatic things that you've gone and traumatic things that you've experienced. It's like it's mind blowing. Can you give people a little background as to, we talked about the church part of it, because we talk about that here as well. We don't hide anything. We don't refrain from speaking on it wherever it is. Church house, White House, your house, anybody's house. We talk about it here. So can you speak on that?
Sure. For me, before I got saved and then became saved and got married, was in the church, coming in and out of the pews, battered and bruised, and being told to stay in the cycle, to submit to my husband, and literally almost dying in the pews. And yet God delivered me from a horrific marital relationship that really led me into getting married to someone, because I had low self-esteem, which a lot of victims find themselves in these type of relationships, looking for love really in the wrong places and people, but a person who is most of the time just as broken as they are. For me, growing up in a home where I didn't have a lot of maternal love, acceptance, and looking for love and acceptance, and never really receiving it. And although my dad was in the home and in the law enforcement field as a police officer, I still did not receive the maternal, paternal love, and was desperately looking for that, and found myself in the early years of my adolescence at the age of 21 and 22, seeking love from an inmate through my cousin at the Prince George's County Detention Center, which led me into a horrific cycle of dating violence, which included being sodomized, being strangled, left on the side of the road, being beat while pregnant, left in the tub to drown, to suffocate, just really battered, bruised, busted lips, just being stabbed in the back, very horrific domestic violence cycle. And the only way I got out of that cycle, to God be the glory, took a lot of prayer and intervention. But 24 to 48 hours before God delivered me out of that, my husband said that he would come back and kill me from a Friday to a Sunday. And by that Sunday, he was dead. And that was my way of escape. And I tell you, I went through sleepless nights, just not knowing what day I would be raped. I mean, even though you're married, you still can get raped. No is no. Not knowing when he would come home through his alcohol and drug addiction, and I would be the victim of that source of physical abuse. I mean, beaten beyond being able to see, beaten beyond being able to use your lips to eat and to drink, not knowing what night you would have glass bottles and in the vaginal area and parts, just really going through a horrific domestic violence relationship. But I stayed, as many victims do, because we have what is often known as the Stockholm syndrome, or the fact that you hope that this batterer would change, this person that you love, this person that you're committed to. And even in the church, being a newborn babe in Christ, I was told to submit to this man of God, supposedly submit because this is the will of God. And no one told me that God loved me more and better than that. I did not have to sit and submit to what was really a death sentence if hell had its way. But praise be to God, he brought me out. So this is why I believe he has ordained this time and season in my life over the years to really come forth and tell others about this cycle.
This is serious. That's serious. And again,
that is serious.
Know that you had really experienced this is amazing. Because, and we talked about the church realm. People, if you're in church and you're dealing in domestic violence, run, get out, stop listening to these people in church. They will get you killed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listening to church people will get you killed. We are not in those days back in the days when we had to stay there because it was just said if we stay with our husbands and that's the will of God and this is where I'm in the house and then he at the head of the house and I got to stay submissive to my husband and we got a family and I want to stay here for the children all the time. You are being beat, hurt, bruised and battered in and out. And we talked about earlier, there's two words, power and control. Three words, well, power, and control. That's what that is. And anytime I find that from the pulpit do not like to address this issue, something's wrong on their end.
Amen.
Amen.
That they cannot speak on it. And you wonder, why? What is this about? Why?
Because they believe in it, because they bought into the system themselves.
Yes.
And behind doors, they're in board meetings and they know of their discretion of beating on their wives, and they're like, man, it was just one time, it's just one thing, and it just hit her, and me being a pastor's child, I know because we used to hear those conversations, but of course my daddy never hit my mom, so I'm like, whoa, but we know the information that's behind the doors, and they just turn their head about it like, okay, man, get better, okay, like just get better, and they keep preaching. They go back and the lady report again.
Well, Charlene, women were very disrespected in the church for years. You could not be a minister or had any kind of role as a minister, preach in the pulpit. Women were forbidden to even be in the pulpit.
That's right.
So we've been disrespected for years.
Right.
On so many levels.
Yeah.
And
in some areas it still exists.
In some areas it still exists. Absolutely.
Especially in the South. And I hate to call out denominations or whatever, but we will. I can, but I'm not. But there are specific, titles that believe that women, even if a woman is, ordained as an apostle or whatever, there are still men that believe that she still should be submissive unto her, that they are not equal by no means necessary, and they're still abusive to even those women. And those women are like, well, maybe this is God's will. I got the title, now I get to preach, so and they are accepting the fact that
accepting.
Very accepting.
And they're using God to say it's okay, but like God is not causing me this pain, like black eyes. But again, the ladies have to get educated and hear from people like,
That's true.
And they have to love themselves more.
Yes.
They have to understand, I am more than this. You know, I cannot and will not take this.
Well, I want to get into this video.
Yes.
There's so many domestic violence videos and things out there and information and movies and clips of this. But I want to show this one clip on domestic violence. I want us to watch briefly on this, and we'll talk about it in a few. You ready, Dante? Thank you.
How comfortable I was with him, or you know, how much I thought he loved me. He just kept on getting more and more abusive.
The attack sent Jenna to the hospital and into hiding. Shortly after 11 o'clock this morning, deputies with the Lucas County Sheriff's Office arrested Montrese Hughes, who's 29. He's now facing a charge of domestic violence. While she's waiting for the court proceedings, Jenna has a message for others who may be in a similar situation.
It's not worth going back, no matter how much you think the person loves you or how comfortable you are there. You need to expect, if they put their hands on you the first time, then it's going to keep happening. It's only going to get worse.
So this is terrible. This just
absolutely unacceptable. Oh my goodness.
So that was real?
That was real.
That was real.
He beat her. See the color of her skin? You see when they talk about beat you black and blue?
That was black and blue.
This literally, he beat her. What monster?
Both eyes. Oh my God.
No, it's a mental demon. Like it's the demon and mental illness. There's no way a man can do that to a person in his own strength. It's demonic. Like
That's
it is
awful. And that's what she just used. It's a demonic situation.
Yes.
Power and control. We're going back to that. Power and control.
And control.
Lynn, can you possibly answer this? And any of you can answer this.
Right.
What to the degree that women want to be able to stay in a relationship like this?
I think a lot of women find themselves in what they believe. They hope that the batterer would change, but it really starts from the place that they believe and are deceived that they love the person, that they are in love with the person and they love them. Another reason is they are hoping. As women, a lot of times as Black women, we want that family dynamic, that component, and we'll do anything to keep it and maintain it to feel whole. A lot of times they're staying for the children out of fear, really intimate fear that they know that they're in, but too afraid to leave because the fear has gripped with them and chained them to that very demonic relationship. Financial. A lot of times they have a family expectation. I can't let my family down. Can't let my girlfriend know this marriage is over. This relationship is over. I'm in it to win it. And really, I think a foundation starts a lot of times with low self-esteem, low self-worth. Like Sister Linda was saying, knowing your worth. And when we don't know our worth from childhood to adolescence, it is the open door. It's that foundation of not knowing who you are, not knowing what you possess, and willing to buy into the belief of what the batterer says. If he says you'll never be nothing, no one never wants you, it's easy to believe if your self-esteem is already low.
Do you have a background in the criminal justice department?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Can you talk about how does that fit into what you experienced in working in that area?
Over the last 20 years of being in that very field, you see the prevalence even ever increasing, more so during COVID and after COVID. The systems are, to my personal opinion, are struggling even in the community to really hear and help women to come out of the vicious cycle. We can get them out by a protective order, but what can we do to really keep them out where they're living back to wholeness to themselves and not find themselves statistically, it's known that most of the time when women are coming out of domestic violence cycle as a whole in relationships, they encounter 6 or 7 domestic violence relationships before they come out of that.
That's good.
That's good. And we see it in the court system repeatedly at times, same victim, different batterers. And so I'm not saying that the courts are not trying, the systems have not come better, but we have to get to the person, the mind of the person,
Mhm.
psyche of the person, the heart
Yes.
of the person, the
Yes.
foundation of the
Yes.
person, because that's the only time you're going to see change. If not, the numbers are going to continue to increase, the fatalities are going to increase, and the lethality, let's keep it real, speak the truth, it is high.
It is high.
That's so good that she brings that up, that an abused woman will go to another abuser. And I noticed that just working with some of these women, you're like, well, did the other guy hit you? Well, no, he didn't really hit me. He just yelled at me, but he was about to get abusive. And then they'll keep telling the story to find out they did hit, but you chose to block that out. So the second time around, now they're hitting you. And like, again, some of them have good families, the girls, but choose these guys because of low self-esteem. Like,
that's true. That low self-esteem is real. Is
That
real.
was good.
And you draw yourself to these type of people.
They study you. I used to tell my daughter, they study you. They know exactly what they look. They listen. The number one thing they love when a daughter is against the mother. They love that. They're like, oh, really? Oh, they don't have a father.
That's right.
Really?
Right.
Never been in my life, and da 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 da. And so, like, it's a typical pattern. They listen for their number one kid.
Yes.
And they like, I got you, girl. I got you. I'm gonna toast you up, and we're gonna be good. Within 1 month or so, they'll start seeing those changes.
Yes, they will.
That's it.
So, go ahead, Lynn. You want to say something?
Look, I was agreeing with Sister Charlene. They're listening to the vulnerabilities. So they're predators.
Yes.
Hone in on
predators.
Yes. They're predators.
Yes.
Yes.
Bona fide predators. Listen.
Yes.
But they'll swear, oh, I just want to hear you talk. I'm here for you. Let me talk to you. Nobody else, I understand. They're listening to your.
I'll take care of you.
Yes.
Those things that they know a woman wants to hear because
yes.
you're almost like emotionally desperate.
Exactly.
Yes.
Those
words they've never heard before, they'll hear it from that person.
Yeah.
Or they refuse to hear it from a mom or dad or people that love them because of rebellion. Rebellion turns your heart away from those that love you.
Yes.
To open it up to someone who really don't really care.
Yes. That's it. So Linda, do any one of you have a question? I think Linda, you have a question.
Yeah, I want to ask Lynn, what are the barriers among the African American community in reporting this, to the authorities, and what are the records on that? How is that working out?
Statistically, every 9 seconds, a woman is beaten and assaulted in the United States. And for African American families, I just wish we get delivered of the silence. What happens in the home, stay in the home, break that generational curse. Stop putting this mess under the carpet and deal with what is going on. We've seen it, as Sister Wyoming was saying, from generations from the church. It started the submission. Submission is okay, but unhealthy submission, abusive submission is not okay. So the barriers in the Black African American community is that mindset that's been indoctrinated in our families. What happens here stays here. To having women feel that they are respected and regarded in these places where they are going to get support. Black women are disproportionately being treated and heard and understood compared to other ethnicities. And I see that we are still facing racial barriers, even in getting assistance and being heard. So we're remaining silent. Also, there's a lack of understanding of the prevalence in the pockets of communities where there is the impoverished communities, your lower income communities, your less educated women in the African-American community, single parenting. Those are barriers that we must confront and face. In Prince George's County, globally, internationally, we're suffering as a people.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Peggy, do you have a question?
Yeah, Len. We all know that domestic violence span across generations. We've seen it. Okay. Do you ever think that we will ever break this generational curse?
Good question.
I think we can only break this generational curse, one, with truth and acknowledgement that it exists. It exists. And then we have to bring God into the picture. And we have to do it through the church. Black, white, green or gray, Muslim, what have you. We have to stop. We have to get out of denial that's in existence. We have to stop propelling silence. And then we have to bring that spiritual component, because it's the power of God in and of ourselves. We can't do it. And we have to educate and inform from the pulpit out. Let's get from the pulpit, bring the church to the community, bring the truth of the nonprofit organizations, along with the church, along with law enforcement, and keep this systematic coordination of efforts propelling. We can't do it just in October. This is every month, every day propelling mission. And it really has to be, it can't be broken by silence and seasonal times to speak about it.
Yes.
Conversations like this have to continue.
Like you all do each month on this show, every first Saturday, you're keeping it alive and recognizable and understood in the community. And this is what it takes. It's nonstop. If not, the spirit grows and advances itself and infiltrates, and it's doing it completely. But we have the authority and power in and of ourselves and the resources of ourselves. And then, hey, talking, speaking about it, broadcasting, blogging, going to the church pulpits, speaking in the community, going down collectively, and not letting this spirit take authority and take its, take power.
Charlene, you have a question for me?
Yeah. I thought you just asked it, but how do you continue to encourage like all races, to be able to report on domestic violence? Like, for instance, they feel sheltered, like, I don't want to talk about this anymore because I done been through this 3 and 4 times and they're not going to believe me. And it's my fault. So I don't want to talk about it. How do we encourage them to report it anyway?
I think one of the ways to help victims and even the community to help victims is, one, we can't judge those that are in the cycle, even as we help them and go back, give them an acceptance from us that we understand, even though we may have to have those tough conversations of letting them know that this is not healthy or your self-esteem is low, but we have to bridge the trust of the victims who are already feeling ashamed. They're already feeling as failures at times. They're already feeling disappointed. I know myself, I knew I wanted to be out, but I didn't have the power within myself. I didn't have the strength, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually at the time to get out. But I did not embrace and have a supportive network, a supportive system that was consistent. Maybe a phone call, a moment. So we have to have a supportive system that is that the victim feels accepted, understood, and will be able to find that safe place to continue to share what they're going through, and then connect them with resources that are not temporary, but consistent until they become whole, meaning safe enough, strong enough to be able to navigate their process of healing and life on their own.
I like that about not judging.
That's awesome.
Yeah, because judging is in their head. We all feel judged when we do the same thing as we're trying to overcome. And like, how do you really make them feel that way as you as a counselor to these women? How do you make them feel not judged? What kind of like, how do we do that if we're not counselors, but we're just a regular human being?
We're just their friend.
We're just a friend, or we're just that person on the street. We see it, but we want to like guide them there.
I think for me, what I found to be very an open door of their safety and a safe place is to say, I truly understand how you feel, what you're going through. And I know this is really hard and tough. And I know, how you're feeling and how you're impacted. And then a lot of times they'll begin to cry and break down because then they know that they've made a connection with someone who understands where they are. And then I would say, well, tell me, how can I help you? What are some things that I can help you? How can I help you? If you would like to share, just giving them that comfortability, not being overbearing, not forcing them, but in a way that is compassionate, caring, that they're understood, not judging, not giving too much of what I think they need to do, but allowing them to speak and talk and embracing them that way. And 9 out of 10 times, they're going to run like a river and begin to show because they feel the safe place.
So, Lynn, I know you may or may not have heard this, I'm sure you have, but can you speak on the area of the sports arena, the athletics and that, and how women as well deal with abuse?
Sure. In the NFL, primarily in different sports entities, it's a twofold. One, we have the battery. We look back to the historical case of Ray Rice and his wife. I believe speaking first from the batterer, I think in the NFL, with very influential beings or sports figures, not having that safe place to really come and say, I'm dealing with anger management. I need anger management. I'm dealing with anger. I'm abusing, and not feel like they're losing their influence to their team, to their franchise, and then being suffocated with those very dynamics of anger management that causes it to one day just manifest in a horrific way, as we saw. So one, giving people a safe place who are in those renowned positions, sports players, newscast, anyone who has a very influential position, providing them a safe, confidential way of really being able to come and share what they're going through. So I think that's a barrier. And that's why we see it a lot of times flowing through the NFL and just different sports. Also for the wives or girlfriends of these players are also chained to a silence because they're afraid of shaming the individual person. So they are really suffering. I did have a brief conversation with a few wives and those of the NFL, and the very conversation was not wanting to shame their husband, his influence, his impact, and one losing the economical financial stability of walking away from that lifestyle that they've been accustomed to and their children.
That's the part right there.
That's a big part, I believe,
The
too.
lifestyle.
Yes, lifestyle.
What they've been accustomed to, drawn into, and be honest, a lot of them want. And so they're weighing between life, freedom with Gucci bags and red bottom shoes and safety and high living, and knowing that they're in a lethality that could eventually take them out.
What type of reports have you experienced with these women and their children? Because we know it affects the children.
Yes. Good question, Linda.
Yeah.
The children are experiencing the vicarious trauma, the secondhand trauma, as early as even in the womb. Statistics have proven that even a woman pregnant being beat upon brings cognitive, intellectual difficulties, and a lot of impact to children being able to speak verbally when they are born, even to living in the womb. Babies have died when women have been abused in the womb. So the impact upon children is just as significant. We think they're little people with little ears, but yet they're little people with big ears. What's going in is a seed that has been planted, and eventually that harvest of memory that's in the subconscious mind, that harvest of words of you're nothing, never be nothing, even though they heard daddy tell mama. And then it's a modeling that comes from being in those very homes. And then two, you see the children modeling their behaviors as young men battering young girls in school. And then
yes. And I'm glad you brought that up, because that was my next point about our children in school. Are you experiencing any of the young children or the young people in school dealing with their domestic issues with boys and girls, and they're hitting each other and having these outbursts in school?
Absolutely. You see it twofold. We call it bullying, but a lot of it, bullying is systematic and coordinated to children growing up in abusive homes and environments. So you have the bullies and you have the bullied. So you have the children coming from these homes where they've seen domestic violence modeled, or the mothers giving the manifestations of what they received as abuse. So you have mothers that have been trauma that are now frustrated, reproducing physical and emotional abuse because they're trying to cope. And those children are going to school being bullied. And then you have the children that are being bullied from kids coming from those homes. So it's a twofold. Suspension doesn't work. You can suspend a child for 5-10 days, but that doesn't take away the trauma, the impact, and what they've been taught. Children live what they learn. Remember the old poem. So we have to, as a school system, look deeper within. I'm not saying discipline is not appropriate, but you have to now look on a greater dynamic of what discipline can you get to the social aspect of what is really taking place in the home and what's creating these behaviors.
The why. Yes.
Why?
The why.
Let's not be reactive. Let's be proactive and save a generation early as kindergarten, because you have 5- and 6-year-olds, as we've heard, going to school with guns. You have them killing. You have 7-year-olds trying sexual activities and physical abuse. Age back in our day is different. It was different than what it is today. There's technology. There's so many things that have exposed, and then right in the home as well. So we have to
And
heal
that's-
the inside out if we're going to change the world, change the community, change
Mhm.
lives.
Yes.
Hey, Lynn, can I ask a question? Going back to Ray Rice, whatever happened to that situation?
I believe that as silent as it was kept, they remained married, but the NFL never restored him. And I wish in a way they had restored him back with showing the process of restoration so that other NFL players and other sports figures would have been able to understand that I don't have to lose who I am, but I can face who I am and be restored back to where I was originally was and still be influential and impacting. And then they'll come with influence of reality of what is existing in the lives of people. I just so wish the NFL, I reached out to them so many times that they would have allowed that opportunity of impact so that other players years later who are going through the same thing would not have endured retribution. And then what I mean by that is if you still have the monster in the person, then you haven't changed anything. You still haven't dealt with the root problem of the issue. You haven't brought any change. It's about change, transformation.
Right, because if they have gone through programs, it would be helpful for them to come out to say, I'm reformed, I'm working on this one day at a time. And, to let other players and the watchers of these shows who, that I'm not the same person and you can change too, that is needed by the
I do understand he's done a lot of work, and I do understand has included some programs and things. But I just think even for the African American community, it just would be so. It would have been so much better.
Yeah, it would have.
Absolutely. Well, then this has been a wonderful conversation. Of always, we have not much time to spend on this. We can talk about this on and on and on. But I really thank you for sharing some more light on this. We can always, talk about this and help people. We're here to help on this platform.
Yeah.
To save lives because we see that this is really something that is happening in our community, not just in our community, in other nationalities. They're having domestic
all
violence.
communities. Yes.
All communities are having this issue. But we want to have you back. We're going to talk about how we can bring you on with some guests that you would like for us to speak. Because I think when other people such as yourself can share their stories, it continues to help other people to get where they can feel free. Because it's about being free. A lot of people are still not free at all. And where does that come from? How do you begin to be free? They want to, but how do you get there?
That's right.
They're afraid to step out and know that I don't have to live like this. I don't have to deal with this. But how do I be free? They're scared to be free.
Exactly.
Yeah, but it's definitely a process, and I believe it's like us. We have to keep practicing that and build up that esteem and confidence. It does not happen overnight. Like babies don't walk overnight, and then I just think it's a process. It's hard. It's a mindset, and they have to be taught. They have to be taught how to re-walk again. And how to. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, our sister.
Pleasure.
We appreciate
it.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
Love you.
Love Lynn.
Yes.
Wow. Interesting, right?
Yeah, it's so cool. Yeah, this is a good program.
It just continues.
It's always the conversation.
Trisha has a good message here.
Yes.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A lot of good messages.
With my sisters, this has been some great time. We have next week is our health and wellness. Oh God, we need to talk about that, right? So who we have? Lynn?
Ooh. Well, we have some surprise guests. I can't tell you right now. But I'll
leave that alone.
Well, we're gonna talk about number one. We're gonna talk about kidneys. We're gonna talk about a kidney foundation. And we have a young lady that we're bringing on. And we also have a person, we're going to talk about colon cancer and other health issues that is in our community that we need to talk about.
Beautiful.
There's so much we can talk about as it relates to our health. And it's even more than and maybe you could have someone to come on and talk about this prostate cancer that men are having.
Definitely, because as we can see in our community,
awareness of what men.
Definitely,
age is changing now.
Mhm.
when men need to go out. So we need to have that conversation too.
Yeah.
We definitely need to have that conversation
Yes.
because, as you can see, look at, and just in the last 2 weeks, look at persons that we have lost
Mhm.
and
Exactly.
persons that we know are dealing with this health issue.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
yes.
Thank you. Thank you. So, ladies, we've had a great time today, but as always, what time is it?
It's
It's
time
For
for
you
To
to
walk
walk
your
in
your
your
purpose and
and
prosperity.
prosperity. Thank you all so much for watching. Share this, share this,
Absolutely.
share this, so we can help somebody and make sure they live long and strong as they move throughout this Black History Month. Bye bye.
Amen.
Have a blessed week. Yes.
Bye-bye.
See ya.